Your ankle test is somewhat of a pass or fail scenario. The objective is for you to be able to get your knee to go beyond the line of your toe without your heel coming off the ground. So you set up in a kneeling lunge position and just make sure that your hip to knee is facing in the same direction as your heel to your toe. As you lean forward like this, don't let your foot, if it's facing that way and your knee is facing that way, you shouldn't be able to see it from this camera angle. But as you hinge forward, this starts to happen or that starts to happen. So make sure that it tracks over, straight over the same line the toe is taking. And if you can get the knee to go beyond the toe, then you can consider that a pass. So consider it any sort of passing grade, whatever you feel is important here. So if 80% to you is a pass, but it's not quite perfect, if you can get the toe, say if you can get to about here, that would be like an 80% pass because you can get it just beyond. But if your heel starts to come off the ground, there's some work to improve within your mobility of your ankle to be able to get that a bit further. This is mainly important for being able to get into deeper ranges of squats, particularly if you are doing something like weightlifting and you want to progress into overhead squats or front squats. You will need a little bit more ankle range of motion. So again, this is somewhat sport dependent. If you are a runner and you do the gym for strengthening your running ability, then you could consider this about 100% because you don't need to squat much lower than if you imagine that this back leg here is not there. This depth would be all you would need to be able to do. However, if you are looking for functionality of your body in a range of different movements and you want to play around with all of these different variations of like deep lunges and deeper squats and overhead squats and front squats, then getting the knee beyond that point without the heel coming off the ground, you can see it just coming off the ground there, this would be considered 100% you. So from my perspective, I'm going to give my left leg 100% because it looks far over the toe there. The heel's just starting to come up off the ground about here. So yeah, we're way beyond knee going over toe. Happy days. However, if you compare this to my right leg, I know that my right ankle is a little bit tighter. I'm not sure why, it's just one of those things. My right ankle will come off the ground a little bit sooner. You can see it coming off the ground there, and I almost have to put a little bit more force into it. So I feel subjectively in myself when I do this, I have to lean my torso further forward for me to get that position over there because this ankle is just a bit tighter. So from that perspective, it's important to know the difference between your right and left here because it's one of the more common areas as to why people's hips twist when they do a squat. So in this example, if I'm doing a squat and I'm doing a deep squat because I've got the bar on the front of my shoulders, I'm doing a front squat or I'm doing an overhead squat, I notice more quickly that my pelvis will twist a little bit when it gets difficult because this knee basically can't go as far over the toe as this one. So that causes my right knee to be further back than my left knee because it can go further forwards. And as a result of that, more pressure goes towards my left side of my lower back or the left side of my pelvis, which then ties into other areas and other problems I have.